Okay, we're here today to talk about our Made in USA cast iron plates. We're going to go into a few more details, specifications, all of the things you could possibly want to know about these things. But first, let's talk about plates in general, what's on the market, and the differences in the manufacturing process. We've learned a lot along the way, and we think that lifters and people that are into this sort of thing, barbell training, will like to know these things. So, cast iron plates. This is going to be your most standard things you're going to find at, Dick's Sporting Goods or different places around the country. Cheaper plates, new, pre-pandemic, between $1.30 and $1.50 per pound. They are going to be cast in a foundry, shaken loose from the mold, and then basically a quick grind on the edge and sent, to the consumer. I have some of those in one of my gyms in Costa Mesa. You'll see, there's rough edges in some parts. You go to grab it on the inside lip and maybe something sticking out. But if the consumer wants just a lower end, quick thing, maybe not that accurate, standard cast iron plate is that. Then you're going to have machined or milled plates and then calibrated. We won't talk about calibrated. Those are competition plates. It's a different thing. We're going to talk about machined plates because our plates that we're doing are machined. So the process gets cast just like a regular casting, and now it's going to go off to a machine shop, and certain things are going to be machined. So for instance, on our plate, it gets cast in the foundry and then is taken over to our machine shop. They're going to machine the outer diameter. That's what gives it this shiny finish and this very smooth thing here. And they're also going to machine the inner diameter. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. And this is how you're going to play with the tolerance as it fits on the bar. They're also going to add a chamfer to the top and bottom of this lip right here and to the back side so that when you go to grab the plate, there's no sharp edges that are digging into your hands. So machine plates, the benefits are going to be more uniformity and more accuracy. A cast plate, when something's cast and just given directly to the consumer, as that mold or that pattern, the thing that pushes the sand together, wears down over time, the weights coming out of those castings are going to change. Whereas with the machine plate, you were able to then control the accuracy, which in our case is size, height, ID, and weight by how much you machine. The casting still has to be correct because obviously you can't machine a bunch of plates to different things and they're different sizes in order to get the weight. So there's a lot that goes into design. We've learned a lot along the way, and we had a lot of things that we wanted to make sure were correct. We're happy with how it turned out. So this is the final product, the 45-pounder. It is 17.75 inches tall, which is 450.7 centimeters. So if you put this up against, say, like the Rogue HD bumpers, it's going to be the exact same size that you're going to find there. The inter diameter is 1.99 inches, and I'll show you how that fits in the bar in a second. We did not want to go with the deep dish plates that a lot of people do. Deep dish plates, the problem with them is as you put more and more plates in the bar, the weights get further away from the lifter. This does a few things. One, it creates whip if you're squatting a lot of weight. And two, obviously in the squat or the deadlift, if you're really moving some weight around, it allows, the loadable sleeve length is only so long, and so you can only put so many plates on. Hopefully that's a problem you're having. So 1.25 inches wide. The lip depth right here, when you go to put your fingers inside the plate, is 1 inch. We were very specific about having this be 1 inch so that when you go to take it on and off a plate tree, you don't have to use a bunch of hands. I can just put my fingers underneath and get it. Then when I go to put it on a barbell, I have my fingers wrapped around the lip and I have something to hold on to as I put the bar or the plate on the bar rather. So we wanted that this thickness at 1 inch. Coating, we talked about a little bit in our last video. We originally were going to do a raw iron and we were going to dip it in some oil, but it just still oxidized too fast and we weren't a fan of that. The clear coat, we really liked the way it looked, kind of maintained the natural iron look, but after a few workouts, started seeing chipping, and we're trying to make a product that you're going to have that's accurate, you're going to like the function, but that lasts a long time. So this is the E-coat. Electro coat is what it's called. You can Google it. It's pretty interesting to learn about, but basically water's dyed, so to speak, and then electric current is applied, and it bonds the material to it. I mean, over time, sure, there's still going to be some wear, but it's not going to be near like you're going to see on some standard plates. So here's a standard York 45. This plate's been in this gym about 2 years. So you can see anywhere where there's contact, metal on metal, this thing's starting to show wear. Inner diameter here where plates stack up on each other, or even on the back where plates are against its surface. All right, let's talk about the differences in diameters and what it does to the plate itself. This is a York machine plate. It's a nice plate. It's not made here, unfortunately, but overall, it's pretty accurate and a good plate. If you look at the inner diameter on this one, there's a lot of wobble here. And you'll experience this either A, when you go down in the deadlift and the bar's going side to side, or B, in the squat, now you have all this movement at it, particularly if there's more plates on there. This is something we wanted to fix and did with ours. So for our plate at 1.99, I put it on, and it's a much different thing. Very, very little slop or cant that's able compared to a standard. Most of these are done at like 2.02 to 2.05. Ours is at 1.99. Okay, that's the plate, that's the fit. Let's talk some closing things. Accuracy. 45s and 25s, we're telling you 2%. Within 2% accuracy, that means that your 45 is going to weigh at least 44 pounds. However, as I was in the machine shop and we're pulling them out, they're coming out right at 49.9, 49.8, 49.89, and that's pre-clear coat. So these things are really going to be on the money, but 2% is what we advertise there. 10s, 5s, 2.5s, 3%. Why is that? Well, the smaller the item is, the harder it is, the more machining that's required, and the more that has to be done to make it weigh exactly what you want. So bigger items, heavier plates, less machining required. The casting is closer at initial casting to being on. The smaller items are going to require more. A lot of people think about weights in price per pound. You can do that in castings, kind of. In machine plates, it's a completely different thing because lots more machining has to be done on a smaller plate than it does on a larger plate if you want it to be accurate, which we do. So that's why you'll see, any of the major plate makers or competitors that are making a high-end quality item, as the plate gets smaller, the price per pound goes up because there's more detail and things that go into making that happen. That's the overview. In a nutshell, everything about these plates. 45s are done. They're at paint right now, getting finished up. We should have a tractor trailer of those in the next week or so. 25s, 10s, 5s have all been run. 2.5s being run this week. Things go, it's a long process. There's the design phase, sample phase, coding phase. You pick all that stuff. Finally, you get a plate that you're happy with and you say, go. Now it's got to go to the foundry, the iron, get poured. From there to the machine shop, all get machined. Where's the foundry in relation to the machine shop? There's logistics in the middle of that. Leaves the machine shop. Are we happy with the product? Okay, we are. Back into tractor trailers. Now over to the paint shop. Got to get there. Now, how is it packaged coming out of the paint shop so that things aren't being chipped or messed up in transit? Now it's got to get freighted to the warehouse. Now it's to us. We're unboxing. We have to put it in stuff so that you can get it and it still looks nice. So we're going as fast as we can. They're coming soon. The pre-orders are going very fast. If you want an accurate Made in USA plate that's back on the market for the first time in years, don't wait because they're going very quick.